U.S. President Donald Trump jumps at every opportunity to try to undermine the Iran nuclear deal. The U.S. president has sought to scare off businesses from dealing with Iran. Trump has used international podiums to talk against the nuclear agreements between Iran and the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council plus Germany. His fierce opposition to the nuclear deal, also known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, has been generally attributed to his close ties with Iran's foes, like Israel and Saudi Arabia. The two have powerful lobbies in America and are believed to be spending heavily to derail the agreement. But Trump has so far failed to get the EU, Russia, and China on board.
Well, what this shows is that the United States is not the same country that it has been in the past. It's fallen from grace and is no longer the international leader that it claims to be. Pretty much, the United States has pretty much alienated itself from the international community and has become an outcast of the international community.
Trump has threatened to pull the U.S. out of the international agreement if other parties fail to fix what he brands as flaws. The Europeans seem to have stepped up diplomatic efforts to prevent the situation from coming to a head, with the French foreign minister planning to visit Iran soon. The U.S. is apparently angered by Iran's regional influence and advancements in its ballistic missile program. Tehran says its missiles are defensive weapons that have nothing to do with the JCPOA. But Washington wants the program dismantled and ties that to the nuclear deal. For instance, Washington wants international atomic inspectors to visit Iran's military sites, something the International Atomic Energy Agency has not asked for. The IAEA has repeatedly verified Iran's compliance with the nuclear deal. Meanwhile, major EU countries like Britain, France, Germany, as well as Russia and China, adamantly insist that the deal cannot be renegotiated. Tehran also says the JCPOA is set in stone.
In international politics, in geopolitics specifically, countries have to honor their word. If you don't, then you become an unreliable player and you lose all credibility on the international stage. And that's exactly what's happening with the United States under Trump. Trump has no credibility.
The coming months are crucial for those monitoring the developments related to the Iran nuclear deal. That is because another deadline is looming for the White House to decide whether to waive nuclear-related sanctions against Iran and to remain in the JCPOA. The Trump administration has given other parties to the deal until mid-May to alter the agreement. But observers believe Iran and the Europeans, as well as Russia and China, are unlikely to accept any renegotiation.
More serious countries, like those in Europe, like Russia as well, and Iran, they're not prepared to back out of a deal that was agreed upon because one immature, uncredible and inexperienced new president, Trump in the United States, claims that he just doesn't like the deal. It's childish and it's not working.
In case the U.S. pulls out, experts say that it would isolate itself on the world stage to an unprecedented level. The issue seems to have turned into a serious test of America's credibility.